So this is one of the simplest and the most effective sadhanas to bring that balance. It's very aerobic in nature, it's a complete exercise, you don't need any equipment. If you're in a hotel room, wherever you are, you will see you're completely fit.
After 1 month or 6 weeks, you feel that your mind is much more sharper because you're doing so much repetition in terms of Surya Shakti that you also need to keep your mind focused in the sense that bringing each time the correct posture. So the precision of your movement needs to be constantly worked at. If you want to build it up, you definitely have to see that the body is also following. Otherwise, there is no point because you will break your body more than what you need. There will be some struggle on the way because, as you said, 108 is not easy to build it up. Actually, I started with 6 Surya Shakti.
Sadhguru once mentioned that if you do this one thing daily, you don't need any other exercise and you will be as fit as you can be. And not only fit, you will be in a completely different energy state altogether if only one can practice 108 Surya Shakti every day. So you can tell us how long and how many days or frequency of the practice you did. I would love to know your experience of it.
Initially, I started in the Hatha Yoga teacher training back in 2021, October and November. We were somewhat asked to slowly build up the Surya Shakti, and so straight away, I started straight away. And for, let's say for about 60 days, until the end of the training itself, I was doing 108 Surya Shakti. Somewhat I was feeling that things were leading in the sense like a small group of people, like we were actually 15, 20 teacher in the Gen side doing 108 Surya Shakti. It slowly built up and it made such a momentum, and it was very beautiful to see from outside. And also all the people who were doing the 108, they were such in an energy state. By 3:30 in the morning we were doing 108 Surya Shakti. It was such a joy to see everybody doing this. So somehow this experience, was there with me. And I didn't continue after the training itself for different reasons. And it came back this year in June. I was like, I need a little bit of strength. Like my body was feeling little weak, and mentally I was not so there. My emotion was flying around a little bit, quite a lot, and I'll say. And suddenly, you're just doing your sadhana, or you just wake up in the morning and this thought, this idea is just coming and say, why not doing 108 Surya Shakti,
Then very common thought. No, I mean quite the opposite, no? Like it's such a big step, right? Like 108 Surya Shakti. I think most people will maybe be like, okay, I'll do 11 cycles or, something like that. But 108, that's like a big step.
So I started with 6 Surya Shakti. I was doing from time to time, but not every day Surya Shakti. I was doing 12, 21 every 2-3 days. I was feeling good, but I needed little more physically, little more mentally to build it up. And so in mid-June, I started with 6 Surya Shakti. And after a week, it went up to 12, after a week, 21. And slowly, every week, I started growing step by step the Surya Shakti. And wherever I was going, I was like, okay, Surya Shakti needs to happen either in the morning, either in the evening, anytime. Because in terms of schedule, sometimes you have your class early in the morning, you're not able to do much sadhana if you're teaching, and sometimes you're traveling in different places. And so, yeah, why, as you were asking, why 108 Surya Shakti? As I was saying, I knew it can build up the physical body strongly and build up the mental ability to stay focused and many different things, which I somewhat needed at that time. So I said, let's take this up once again and see what it can bring. I don't have anything to lose, so I said, let's do it.
So when you did it during the Isha Hatha Yoga teacher training, because you were surrounded by people who were also doing it, it must have probably been easier to push to 108. Then after that, you came out and you were by yourself, right? So how was that process, not being at the ashram, not being supported by the ashram? You had to do it in different places. Was there some sort of struggle that you went through in order to, get to that point of 108?
Absolutely, yes. If you're regularly doing Surya Shakti, there will be some struggle on the way, because as you said, 108 is not easy to build it up to 108. It might not be for everyone in the beginning. But I would say up to 21, 24 for everybody is easily reachable. But by the time you're reaching 48, now you really feel your body. You feel your body strongly. I mean, the flexibility, the back, the upper back, the shoulders, arms are slightly paining. So 48, if you want to build it up, you definitely have to stay for some time at 48 and see that the body is also following. Otherwise, there is no point just going berserk and just keep growing into the cycle, because you will break your body more than what you need.
Being a Hulk asks for balance.
So that was the first step. I would say the first struggle is definitely go up to 48 and stay at 48 for some time. Because already you're like 25-30 minutes of Surya Shakti a day at quite an intense pace. If you're not used to any physical activity, it can be already quite intense for sure to build it up to 48. Physically and mentally also, because what's happening is you feel your body more and more, and then you still have to be very clear and precise with your movements, because it's easily when you build up the cycle that you can hurt yourself. So mentally you have to constantly be focused also. After that, once you reach 48 for a certain period of time, 64 seems quite easy because it's only 16 more cycle. And it didn't, for me, there was not much trouble for 64. I just kept 64 for 1 week again. I was feeling quite fine. 48, 64, there was not much gap in my experience. But 64 to 84, this is where struggles started happening a lot. Each time, I can't say there was not one time where between 64 to 84 I was not struggling. I don't know why, but the mind was telling so many things, like why keep pushing yourself, because you already done so much, why keep pushing yourself? And mentally it was enduring. You needed to build up a little bit of commitment and see of why you're doing it, and remind yourself. Otherwise, you can. To myself, I could easily give it up at that time. 64, I'm done. Really, why should I continue like this?
In the yogic system, we see the body as 114 chakras. So there are only 108 with which you can work.
So 64 to 88 to 84, it's like this 20 cycle are feeling very, very slow. You're like one after one after one. You don't see 84 coming anywhere. That's, you just keep going, at that time, either you give up everything, you just going with the flow, going with the energy of the practice itself, because you're already doing like 30 minutes of Surya Shakti. So there is a certain flow in the body, there is a certain energy which carrying you also. So you just give up whatever your mind's saying, you're trying to just keep your posture proper, and you're just going on with the flow of the practice, and most of the time it just carry up to 108 if you continue like this. Yeah, that was my main point. My main shift when between the 64 to 84, when I'm just offering the practice, because I know I'm struggling and I don't want to continue to keep making nonsense in my mind, and the body tells you one thing and all these things. And so I'm like, okay, just offer it. Just go with the flow, just offer it, and it will happen anyway. And this feeling of being supported, and just carry you up to 108 at that time feels very, very amazing. Each time I was going through this, I was feeling very amazed. It was quite very interesting.
So you say supported. You don't mean supported by the ashram or the environment, right?
Yeah, coming back to what you're saying, definitely. Supported by I don't know, maybe it's Sadhguru, because if you're doing your practice, your sadhana, if you offer your sadhana, Sadhguru might be there. I'm not saying anything else, but I didn't see a lot of results for the first 3 weeks. Because, you're just doing 6, you're just doing 12 or 21. you just maintain yourself. You just maintain yourself, you don't have much trouble. But by the time you reach 33, 48, you feel a little bit of soreness sometimes because you do it every day. And slowly also, you're seeing that your mind and your ability to use your mind is much more sharper. After 1 month, let's say after 1 month or 6 weeks, you feel that your mind is much more sharper in the way, because you're doing so much repetition in terms of Surya Shakti, that you also need to keep your mind focused in the sense that bringing each time the correct posture. So the precision of your movement needs to be constantly worked at. So the mind was getting much more sharper after 1 month or 6 weeks, when you already reach like 48, 64. This is what I've been saying, the initial phases. After that, let's say after 2 months, 2.5 months, the practice is getting fully established into the system. So you don't have any more struggle to just get on the mat and start doing it. And your mind is already set into that kind of process. And your body is getting stronger and stronger each time you're doing it. The sense of attention definitely increased. When your body getting stronger, your mind's getting stronger, then the sense of attention is getting much more increased also. And slowly when you reach, this is one point I've been saying, when you reach 64 or 84, there is what I was feeling, there is a certain shift on your emotion getting much more focused also. Before that, I was not feeling so much. But by the time you reach 64, 84, your emotions are getting very, very focused towards the practice. You know you're going to make it. And I would say it's with the time and with the practice also that your emotion getting settled, getting, focused at that time. And so whatever you're building physically will also change your experience of the other practices. If you do Surya Shakti and if you do the Kriyas, for example, Shakti Chalana, your experience of Shakti Chalana will be much more stronger, because your body will be stronger, the mind will be stronger, and your attention will be much more stronger on the breath also. This is what I've been saying. If you do more Surya Kriya, your experience of Yogasana will be definitely of a great deal, I would say. But if you do more Surya Shakti, your experience of Shakti Chalana in that sense would be a little more intense and profound, I would say. So as Surya Shakti is much more physical in nature, then it brings different aspects, it brings different dimensions within you, so that you can juggle a little bit to see, like in different practices, it can bring different experience.
How much time did it take you to do 108 cycles in the beginning, and how much time did it take you once you crossed, let's say, a mandala?
108, I would have taken around probably comfortably around 55 minutes to 1 hour. There has been some time where my posture was not correct, especially on few transition, and the next day morning I was really struggling to wake up because my lower back was really, really paining. So you don't increase the number until you feel that your posture are correct and you know what you're doing. Otherwise, if there is one mistake, you keep doing it each cycle, the next day morning it will be difficult for you to wake up. The body will tell you, oh, there is a mistake here.
How did you approach that posture? Did somebody else look at you and tell you get some feedback?
Definitely, yeah. In the training itself, I have some feedback. Also, if people are willing to go through 108, having also a correction from a teacher would be definitely ideal in that sense, so that they know they're going the right way, because it can be so easy to just make one mistake and keep repeating each cycle. And at the end of the day, you don't even know what you were making, and actually it is not proper, posture.